Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be Harry Muppet casting the second game in the Grand Final series for the Go4SC2 monthly cup that was broadcast in April. This is going to be a cup full of Europeans. I believe this is a European cup, but I suppose that people from anywhere in the world could technically participate because, of course, Blizzard has opened up that all regions thing, so anybody can log into any realm they want. And they can probably sign up to any realm they want. Of course, if somebody outside Europe did win, then they might have to pay a bit of a conversion fee to get those euros converted back into American dollars or Australian dollars or Korean dollars or whatever they want. I got to apologise. I'm not sure what the official currency in South Korea is, but yes, I think these two are... No, I'm not even going to say. I'm not even going to try and guess because I'll just make a fool of myself. I'll be completely honest, I swiped these replays off the net, they looked impressive, and we have not been let down so far by these level of games. They have been very impressive, so we're going to keep casting them, and I hope you enjoy it. So down at the bottom left side, we have Mentalking. His name isn't Mentalking, but that is his name. Not his real name, but his real Starcraft name. And he is going to be a teal Terran, so he decided blue was a bit too dark last time. He's going for teal this time. And on the top right side, we do have Hyun, who is our red Zerg, and he won a very convincing victory in the previous game, so going with a very nice, very heavy roach push. And unfortunately, Mentalking was not prepared. He was going for Hellion Harass with a bit of Widow Mines as well, so he's going heavily into factory tech, and he just did not have the Marauder production capability to deal with the roaches when they started coming out. He tried to get it, but by the time he got it, it was just too late, and the roaches just overwhelmed him. But we're going to see exactly what he can do now. He's going to go into a command center before barracks build. So this is very risky, but this is a huge map, so it's not as risky as it would be with other maps. He's got the barracks coming down. The drone won't be able to get up all the way into the base, but he will be able to get up fast enough to see this command center. So he knows exactly what's coming on. The Zerg player, he got a very, very fast spawning pool. He's already up when he's at the 16 worker mark, so we can only imagine he built it at the 10 to 12 mark. And look at these lings. He's streaming those lings in like there's no tomorrow. He's definitely going in for a very early attack. I don't know if it's an all-in attack because he doesn't have an expansion coming down, so he's got something to fall back on. But yes, it's going to be very dangerous here. I'm not sure why he isn't moving these lings in. There's nothing really to hit them yet. The barracks isn't even finished yet. But this drone, I don't believe there's anything actually building that barracks at the moment. So he really should push in. Really should start working these supply depots down, this barracks down, before the Marine comes out. He's not going to go in though. He's possibly decided it's not worth it at this point. He doesn't want to do it. And I guess that's... I'm not sure what I can say about that decision not to move the lings in at this point, because he's sacrificed a bit of his economy to get this many lings up that early, and he had, in my opinion anyway, he had an opportunity to go in there and do some damage, maybe get this supply depot down before the Marine came out. Of course, I'm not going to say that I know the Terran time is better than our Zerg player Hyun. He probably has a better idea of exactly how long it would take for the barracks to get up and the Marines to come out, so he probably decided that he couldn't get through that supply depot before the first Marine started coming out, and so he made the decision to fall back. But he has seen it all open up now. It's all opened up now. The Terran has sort of let down his guard, although he didn't really know this amount of lings were just hanging around outside, so it's still going to work out. He does have these Marines to deal with now, and it looks like the lings are going to get pushed out again. It's got this bunker coming up here, but these lings could wipe out this SCV if they do a good job. The Marines are coming out, but I don't think they're going to be in time to save the SCV. Just in the nick of time. They're so close to destroying that SCV, but another one's going to come up. And until our Zerg player gets speed, I think that's going to be the end of his ling harassing for the time being. We do have one Hellion coming out for the Terran player, and we do have one Widow Mine coming out as well. You can see he's got the reactor. He might be thinking about moving the factory over there, but right now He's just building massive amount of marines, and he's got enough now. He's filled up the bunker, so he should be seeing him switch over the factory over to this location. We do have a third command center going down for the Terran player, so he's doing a very aggressive expansion. I do not understand why I have so many problems with such words such as these, but I do sometimes, and they just fumble around in my mouth, and eventually they come out. But of course you guys are probably all groaning when you're listening to this video. But there we go. It's a perfect sort of, I won't say elliptical, but it's a very nice curve on this wall. It's a very aesthetically pleasing. There's another word I'm having problems with. But yeah, it looks pretty sweet. So there we go. It's a very nice wall there. It's going to be very good at protecting it from lings, because of course the lings can go up there and the bunker could still hit him, so that's going to be fine. Zerg player going for a third. I never know when to say, because it's a third base, but it's the second expansion, so half the time I say it's a third expansion and you guys are probably like, ah, whatever, you know, just watch it and just whatever. But yeah, Roach Warren coming down, so he's got the lings, but they're not going to be used for a large amount of any harassing. He's going to move into roaches, which is not a bad idea because it worked for him in the past. Here we go, the Hellions coming up. The Roach Warren is actually finished, and he's producing a fairly large amount of roaches up here. The Hellions are going to see this hatchery, but they're not going to be able to do much now that the roaches are out on the field. Hellions are just not that good versus roaches. But we can see he's definitely getting his infantry tech up. He's got a couple more barracks coming up. He's got 1-1 for his Marine Marauder army, and we can expect to see a lot of Widow Mines and perhaps a triple M4 coming out now. We'll see exactly what happens. The Zerg is pulling all of his roaches. Looks like he's going for a bit of a bash over here, but the Widow Mines, look at that. The direct hit on the roaches nearly kills them. That does about 120 damage, and the splash damage is about 40. So yeah, he's decided it's probably not that good of an idea to go back in here. Hellions coming across, they're going to see the roaches, they're just going to get the hell out of there. So there's no real point in even trying to harass those guys because it's just too hard. So we can expect the Zerg to get some Overseers out anytime soon. Does he have Lair Tech? He does have Lair Tech. So I would not be surprised at all to see an Overseer come out. Of course, he's a bit gas-starved at the moment. He's been building upgrades like there's no tomorrow. So we'll have to wait a little bit to get that Overseer out. There we go. There's actually only 50 gas. I thought it was 100. But there, they've lowered it down to 50 gas. But I think they have upgraded the minerals count. And speaking of minerals, the Terran player is moving out. He's getting his third base, second expansion, whatever. And he is going to be muling it up like there's no tomorrow. But of course, the Terran player is a bit more exposed out here, but he has been getting out some Marauders, so I think he feels a little bit more secure about facing the roaches. However, the Zerg is producing a absolutely stupid amount of roaches. If we have a look at the units tab here, actually it's not that stupid. I thought he'd be up to like 30. I just saw 8 at once and I'm like, oh, that's a lot. But it's not actually that much. There we go, he's not fooled by the changeling. And just running those 3 lings in there. He's not intending to attack. I think he was just trying to make the Widow Mine to use up their attack, because the cooldown for that is just so extremely long, and I would not be surprised to see him send a couple more lings in to knock out the Widow Mine's cooldown before he does his major attack. And he looks like he is massing up for a major attack with this amount of forces. He's got 7 more roaches coming out. He's got 8 more lings. So it looks like the lings aren't just for popping the Widow Mines. It looks like he may be going in for a decent attack as well. And he's actually got some Widow Mines around the back as well, just in case the Zerg player tries for a flank. And I would not be surprised at all to see him try that. But here we go. The Terran player's coming in here. He's like, oh, there's creep over there. This guy can see me. That was little bit of a fumble there, showing himself on the creep. But of course, there's overlords everywhere, so it's not like you could really hide forever. But here we go. A couple of lings going in to trigger off the Widow Mines. Ton of Widow Mines over this side as well. The Zerg player has no idea how many Widow Mines there really are, but he does have an Overseer around here somewhere. There we go. It's very nicely positioned. Terran player is going to pull back. He's going to try and lift up this supply depot, but it may be a little bit too late. Some roaches out the front, getting on top of it, holding it off. Meanwhile, I've got a beautiful attack over here. Most of these guys have been taken out, but I think they did some sort of damage there. I'm not sure exactly how much damage they did, but it wasn't much economic because the Zerg player still has a crap load of economy. And here we go. It's going to be roaches again from the Zerg player, just completely owning the Terran player. I don't think there's much the Terran player can do at this point. He's got so many barracks, he's producing so many units, but there's an army in his base, and I'm not sure what he can do about it. He's fighting to the last here, but look at all these banelings coming in. If there were any workers left alive, they would be in serious trouble. We've got some more lings coming in here, wiping out that base. We've got lings over there, we've got lings here, we've got lings there, we've got lings absolutely everywhere. And we have roaches as well, just to make it more interesting. So there we go, that is the end of game number 2. And Hyun continuing to put on the pressure, using the same unit as last game, the roaches. The roaches still doing a fantastic job, and he really, really knows how to push them out, how to get a large army of roaches, and how to really push them in there. And the Terran player doing some very nice widow mine work, but he just didn't have the core army to knock back the roaches. And it may be because he went a bit too hard on his economy. He branched out a little bit, stuck his neck out a little bit too far. But I don't know. I think it's just that this roach player is just too good. Even a very experienced player would have a lot of difficulty dealing with this many roaches. But we're going to see. We're going to see exactly what the Terran's player answer is to the roach threat in game number 3. And I really, really hope it's not a 3-0 series, because there's nothing more than I like to see than somebody hitting back after they've been knocked down. And we'll see exactly if Mental King manages to do that. So thank you very much for watching, and watch out for game 3, which should be coming out soon.